Yeah. Okay, that's
Now,
one.
are we going back and forth or
Let's go
just
back
me
and
or
forth. All right,
okay.
Charles, what's one from you?
I don't want to go back and forth.
Okay, Mark.
Okay. Well, my second one is
What a difficult guest.
come to my
Holy,
convention.
hey, he's your writing partner, not mine.
Classic pop culture. It's classic pop culture. Hosted by Steve Ludwig and Ludwig. Classic pop culture. It's classic pop culture. Classic pop culture.
And how you doing, everybody? This is your pal and fellow fan of pop culture and the Monkees, Steve Ludwig, welcoming you to another edition of Steve Ludwig's Classic Pop Culture right here at planetludwig.com. Before we get started, I have to thank the tunesmith of Australia, Joe Mandica, for writing, producing, and performing our pop culture theme song.
Classic pop culture.
Thank you, Joe. We love you. JoeMandica.com. Well, it was 60 years ago that the Mighty Monkees TV show premiered. And to celebrate the 60th anniversary, convention maker extraordinaire Charles Rosenay will tell us all about the upcoming M60, the Monkees Fan Convention. Also joining us, Mark Arnold, who co-authored with Charles a brand new Monkees book. Wait until you hear and see what this book is all about. It's going to be premiered at Charles's M60 convention. I spoke with these two cool dudes, 4 days ago, and I'd like to share it with you right now. Charles will tell us all about the convention. Mark and Charles will tell us all about the new Monkees book and other books they have worked on in the past. So I have found that the more I talk, the less time I have with the guests. I shall now shut up.
Will you shut up?
And let's watch the interview.
And we are joined by Mr. Charles Rosenay and Mark Arnold because there is a big Monkees Fan Convention coming up, M60. And these two gentlemen are going to be part of the convention. They have books to tell us about. Let's get to it. Charles, why don't you start off? Mark, welcome back, by the way. I've spoken to Charles a number of times. We had you on the last time you were on. Why don't, before we get too far, was we talked about this fantastic book that the both of you wrote, Not Just Happy Together. Just, guys, just an amazing, look at this thing. Oh, and Eddie,
not just
too.
not just a doorstep.
A monster, right?
I can never give you guys enough credit for something like that. I mean, just the research and everything. But there we go.
You have the hardcover?
Yes, I have. That's what she said. Yeah, I have the.
But I have the hardcover in color pictures.
Yeah, I think this
Are
was,
you-
I guess, an earlier.
Who knows?
Yeah, well, anyway,
4 different versions of it.
it's still
we're
in black
really-
and white when we read it. So
We're really proud of that, but I'm so proud
Yeah.
of
let's go.
the M60. You know that I've been doing Monkees conventions by myself or with other producers for many years, going back to 1982, when it was the first time in history that a monkey ever showed up at a Monkees convention. And I always bring this up because, now it's kind of, you expect a monkey to show up at a Monkees convention, but a Beatles never showed up at a Beatle convention aside from Pete Best. So in those days, no one ever thought that at a fan gathering, one of the people that we're honoring and one of the people that we're admiring and love so much would actually come. And of course, in '82, Peter Tork was a special guest, and we became friends then and stayed guess, till we lost him. But then jumping ahead, 1987, the year after they reunited, we had the National Monkees Convention, which had Mickey, Peter, Davey, Boyce, Hart, Henry Diltz, just on with great guests. And then jumping even further ahead, 2013, and there were conventions in between. 2013, we did the Davy Jones Memorial Monkees Convention in New Jersey, which was a huge, ridiculous, over the top, hundreds of guests, hundreds of authors, thousands of people. And then I scaled it back. When Peter passed, we did a Peter Tork Memorial Convention, but it was back in Connecticut. And it was a few hundred people instead of thousands, more like the original conventions that Maggie McManus put on at the Trenton War Memorial in the late 70s and early 80s. And that was what I was going for now when I thought, wait a second, I'm looking around. There's no Monkees fan gathering, no convention going on, and it's the 60th anniversary. Hello? I mean, how could this be? And I thought, well, I want to do it the same way I did the Peter Tork event, the same way it used to be when it was fans first, and you didn't have to have 100 guests and 100 authors and 1,000 vendors, and have it in a huge convention back to a small hotel, very intimate, very fun, and planned it for September 12th. And then realized, well, no, wait, if we ever expect to get Mickey, which he can't anyway, we can't have it on the 12th because he's playing LA. Can't have it on the 12th because it's Rosh Hashanah. I didn't even realize it. So we moved it to September 4th and September 5th, actually. And people were saying, wow, we're going to come in from, Australia. We're coming in from Chicago. All of these places. Is there anything to do on the Friday or the Sunday? And I'm thinking, well, I got to make it a full convention, unlike like what I did with the Peter Tork show a few years back. And so we added a welcome party on the Friday. So people are going to come. We'll have it in the bar. If they drinks if they want, maybe snacks. But there'll be a musician, Scott Ringo, playing monkey songs. We'll have a sing-along. Hopefully we won't stay up too late because it's an early day the next day and it's a full day. The Saturday is pure convention. It's the vendors, it's the special guests, it's the authors, it's everything you would want at a convention plus more. And from 11 o'clock to 5 o'clock. And then an hour break, we'll have a food truck, whatever. 6 to 11, the music starts. And it's band after band, entertainment after entertainment. And that's not the end of it. There's a Monkees museum in Connecticut.
I wasn't aware of this. Yeah.
Distance from where we are. We thought, well, let's continue the party. Let's make it like the Liverpool does its Beatles Fest, Beatles Convention, Beatle Week. Let's do it like Abbey Road on the River. Let's do it like all these festivals where it's not just the bands. It's not just, again, it's a whole diverse event weekend. And so the Sunday was our add-on, and it's a special because it's not only going to be at the location of the Monkees Museum, which is called, I think, the Underground Frodis Experience. But
very cool.
By Catherine McCabe, who I shared a TV episode with of Collector's Call on MeTV. It was her collection, and I was, the I guess, for lack of a better word, the valuator or the expert on what
we can find that on YouTube, of course.
It is.
Find your appearance on YouTube, I'm sure. On the show.
If not, you can see on repeats when MeTV shows it. And it's also run by Mick Lawless, who's very involved in the convention. He's going to be doing a set of his Loose Salute show. He's going to be a vendor there. He's got new CDs out, but he's also co-hosting the Sunday event. So he's going to have a band there. And Dave Robichaud, who played with Davey and who played with David Jones, David Cassidy is also going to be there playing. So the event doesn't end on Saturday. It continues on Sunday for people who can drive there and want to make a 3-day event out of it. They don't have to. A lot of people are just coming for Saturday, and it's convention and bands. And so, it's going to be very special. I've officially announced that it's going to be my last Monkees convention. I don't want an excuse to put on another memorial convention.
Yeah, right.
To be at the 60th anniversary, and just the fact that I can get Mark Arnold to join me, that was reason enough to do another convention.
Mark Arnold, I mean, you talk about a walking pop culture encyclopedia.
Well, not walking currently. But indeed,
Of all things for me to
Choice of
say,
words.
guys, Mark is in a cast, everybody. He's just able to sit up lately.
Yeah.
So that was a poor choice of words on my part.
perfect. I had to jump on it.
Jump
Now,
on it.
actually,
All right.
throughout the interview, our viewers are going to see all the information on screen, on and off. But I will say it's at the Clarion Inn Hotel in New Haven, right?
It's actually North Haven, Connecticut,
North,
right near New Haven.
North Haven. I even wrote it down, North Haven.
Yeah, you can fly into Tweed New Haven Airport, which is New Haven. You could come to Hartford and fly in. You can come to the New York airports. Everything's within an hour and a half, 2 hours, all the airports. But a lot of people from the East Coast are driving in, staying over at the hotel. The rates are reasonable. And aside from all you've got a few special things that I want to share with you. Aside from all the great guests, aside from the great authors, the vendors, all the things, the bands, everything you expect at a convention, we've got a few other like special treats. One, we're going to be doing a book launch of a 60th anniversary special Monkees book. We're going to be having there's only 2 monkey pinball machines in the world. I have one of them, and one of them is in the Monkees Museum. So
Wow.
I'm going to bring one to the convention. People can play that one. And if they go on Sunday, they can play it again there, along with the Monkees jukebox and the Monkees slot machine and Peter Tork's piano. All of that is at the museum. And I'll share something with you, and this could be very interesting. It's never been done at a convention before, but people have been working on a Monkees Broadway musical. And we're going to be doing a stage reading of that musical at the convention to see what the fans' reaction is to it. And so I'm really looking forward to that, because that's not an element of a convention that's ever happened before.
Yeah. Wow. And so is this a done deal? Or it's we're waiting to see how the reaction.
No,
What are the
it's
reactions?
not a done deal. It's in there's no such
Yeah.
thing as a done deal. It's a proposed musical, it's a proposed show, and it's still very much in the works. Yeah.
What a catalog of music, boy, that
Would
could
you
be
find
used. I'm thinking of all the copyrights and everything people go through to use the music, but it has got, boy, what a soundtrack that would be.
Yes.
Now listen, you mentioned we're gonna go back and forth with the convention, but you mentioned a Monkees book that you and Mark are going to introduce at the convention. Can we talk about that?
No. No.
Okay. Well, listen, guys, I want to thank you both really for coming on.
Can I say the title of this thing? Let me say the title. Okay. This is an idea that we Charles and I just tossed around different ideas. I had already done 2 Monkees books, and Charles wanted to do a third one. And we're trying to figure out something that had never been done before. And the idea came up, the comic books, because there were comic books published for about 2 years in the 60s. Not everyone has them. Not everybody knows about them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so it evolved into, and then Charles can take it from here, the Monkees comic book.
Yeah, so
A cool title.
Big comic book guy, all the Marvels and DCs and the horror titles. I still have thousands of them. In fact, if I slide this over, boxes and boxes of comics right here in my den. Please don't rob me. And I, always loved the comics. I wasn't a fan of the gold the Gold Key comics and the Dell comics, because they were always in my mind. I could watch the TV show. I didn't need a comic of Time Tunnel. I didn't need a comic of Rat Patrol or Lost in Space, because I had the TV shows of those. Whereas the Marvel and DCs, those were new stories and new superheroes and everything
with
else.
Characters you know and love too.
Yeah. But I loved the characters in all those Gold Key and Dell. The only thing I think I probably didn't like was Classics Illustrated, because that was too Brady for me. But
Get out of here.
You're writing your book reports of those.
How else are we going to read novels?
Cut that part out. But
I just didn't like the writing part in it. That's all. The pictures were.
But the Gold Key and the Dells, they came out with some stuff that you could not not love. And it was, the Yellow Submarine comic for the Beatles. It was specifically the Monkees ones. And I remember getting one or two and never being able to get enough of those. And then I would, through the years, try to pick up one here and there, and the condition would be terrible. And for some reason, the coloring would be so faded. And we thought, well, if we, just re-release the Monkey comics as they were, well, that would be pretty cool because finally they're all in one place. Dell is out of business. We can't find, the copyrights. We really try so hard to find out who owns it, who we can get permission from. And that was just such a difficult thing. That really delayed the book for a long time until the point we said, well, look, the 60th anniversary is coming out. Let's do what we can to put it out. And we thought in a lot of different spectrums. One, we thought, well, we're going to make it a price guide. We're going to put in the prices of every 17 issues, from the mint condition to near mint to good to crappy to horrible. And then each comic has those evaluations. So now it's a price guide. It's not just reproducing the comics. And then we thought, well, wait a second. We know some artists who can probably go back to the drawing board. And a gentleman by the name of Nick Luca, he's a DJ, and I was DJing a gig with him, and he was actually playing with an old comic book where he was restoring the color. And I said, this is mind-boggling because I'm working on a Monkees comic book with another co-author, co-contributor, and I think this would be the next step. And I was on the air with Monkey Mania Radio at the time. I was doing a show, and I put it out to a few people, and a few people showed me, well, wait, this can be done, and it can be done amazingly, so that the colors pop, so that it looks like it's a current Marvel graphic novel, that it looks so amazing. And so we shifted gears to not reproducing the originals, but in actuality creating new art of the same panels, but brought to life in 2026 modern technology.
Yeah, wow.
And then someone by the name of Dwayne Dimmick, when we were ready to finish up this comic, said, wait a second, I can even make it more colorful. I can bring it to another level, and I can make sure that the coloring not only is current and vibrant, but also is representative of the 60s that they were trying to capture. And he did an amazing job adding to what was already done and bringing it to a new level. So you thought, all right, we're ready to go. Well, we can make it even better. How we make it better? We can put on some timelines in it. And these timelines show when issue number 1 came out, what was going on in the world of the Monkees. Issue number 2, and it correlated with a timeline of the comics and with the Monkees' actual careers. That wasn't enough, Steve. That wasn't enough. Mr. Mark Arnold said, hey, why don't we get some celebrities to comment on each of the comics? Charles, you know all these celebrities. And we thought, well, we'll start with the people we knew, actual Monkey super fans like Fred Velez, Jerry Beck, who was, the filmographer, archivist for all this Monkey stuff. And then I started branching out. Well, Butch Patrick was in one of the Monkey shows. Let's get him to contribute. Donna Lauren, let's do an interview with her. And we did that. And so each chapter has a corresponding celebrity giving 17 comics, 17 celebrities giving their thoughts of either the comic or the Monkees themselves. We're not done. We realized that when I was doing Monkey Mania Radio, I was in touch with a lot of people, a lot of interviews. Mark and I were able to score an exclusive interview with Jose Delbo, who was he, Mark? He was the Monkees artist.
He was the artist on most every issue of the series.
90% of the comics.
Wow.
I think he did 14 issues or 15 issues, something like that, so.
And his English wasn't perfect. So his daughter transcribed the whole interview, answered the questions, translated them, made sure. And that's now a centerpiece of the book. Before the 17 comic books are reproduced in their current remastered form, his interview is in there. And it's just so amazing.
I just want to break in here for 1 second. Both of you guys have written books, plural, in your lives. When do you know you're done writing a book? I mean, a novel, maybe you can kind of, but something like this.
Mark, I'll let you answer, and then I'll also answer.
Well, I mean, for me, sometimes you don't know when you're done, because some projects just kind of roll out, and it comes out exactly as you planned. My last book that came out is a book about Plop, a comic book that DC did in the early 70s.
Mhm.
And I pretty much had it set in my mind exactly how it was going to go out, and it ended up that way. It took about a year and a half to do. Other ones evolved over time, and I always treat it like this: is that it's like a clay, somebody putting some statue together with clay, and they have like the figure made out of like
Basic,
metal
yeah.
joints or something,
Oh,
and they're
yeah.
just throwing clay at it.
Mhm.
And then they form it later. That's kind of what I do, is I just kind of throw clay at, well, this will go here, this will go here, this will go
Uh-huh.
here. And then while I'm doing it, things go, oh, this would be much better over here. And this, I don't need it all anymore. And, it's like, and I
Mhm.
could get this. And now I have this great interview. And, so that's
It-
usually what happens with my books.
It's
And then at
almost
some
like,
point, yeah.
I was going to say, it's almost like what do you call it with movies? You're plotting out your different scenes.
Yeah.
It's almost like what am I trying to say, guys? Yep.
I know. I'll tell you what you're trying to say. You're trying to say that a movie editor and sometimes a book author is never actually done. They're always, even when it's gone to press or gone to the final screening, editing, you always think, well, if I did such and such, I could have added to it. But
Yeah.
what I want to embellish the question by answering is, Mark and I were really, there in the beginning, and it's got our imprint, it's got our thumb, it's got everything of that Mark and I do together, and the Turtles book, and now in this Monkees comic book. But we brought in Dwayne Dimmock, and Dwayne is from another planet. He's brilliant. He's got design stuff that just blew us away. And had we given him the time, the book would be another 5 years from now, because he wanted to do QR codes on every page where people can then continue on and
Mhm.
enjoy the book in the future with additions. We had to say, wait, if we do that, the book will never be ready for the launch at the M60
Yeah.
Monkees Convention, which was a must. Well, Dwayne Dimmock, God bless him, designed what I think is the most amazing cover. It's
Ooh, a
Davy
sneak peek of the cover. Wow.
This is the prototype, boys. This is the Davy Jones kind of looking young fellow who's the biggest Monkees fan in his little neighborhood. He's gone to his local Rexall drugstore. He's found the comic book rack, and he is amazed that all the comics on there are Monkees comics. And this is the amazing design.
Wow.
On the back, you ready for this? If you're a comic book guy, you remember that the backs of comics would have this learn how to draw like Joe Trentino or
John
whoever it was.
Nagy or one of those.
Yes. Well, this is a learn how to draw Jose Delbo.
Wow. Holy smokes.
And it's brilliant, if I may say so myself.
Charles,
Because
could you just hold it sideways again? Look how thick this book is. Like,
oh yeah, it's ridiculous.
wow, yeah.
But you can fit, do the math, 17 comics.
Mm-hmm.
35 pages per comic, but anyway, instead of writing, how you could become an artist, what this actually is, guys, is more commentary on the Monkees beyond the 17 issues. Because when we finished those 17, we were still getting in commentary from people like Cousin Brucey, Eddie Deason, our friend from
Oh, of course. Yep.
Thomas Dolby, the new
Yep.
wave,
No
right?
one is to blame.
Daryl McDaniel from Run DMC.
Mhm.
All these people were Monkee fans and wanted to contribute their opinions on the Monkees. Martha Quinn from MTV, Susie Quattro. So they all contributed to this book. Now I'll show you what's going to be the coolest part of this book. We're looking at it here. We're looking at it here. But
Oh,
when you're
no.
ready to read it, boys, it reads like this. You've got the
Whoa.
comics
Oh
laid
my
out as
God.
comic books
Look at
would,
this.
and the colors are just unbelievable. So we reproduced the covers and then the artwork
That
was
is beautiful looking.
beautiful. The vibrancy, the color, the pop. And this is a prototype, and I'm glad we got it. Our friends at Genius Book Publishing, the people who put out
Mhm.
our Turtles book and have put out some masterful stuff, gave me the prototype to make sure there were no errors. There were no errors, but there were three things that I was able to clean up before it went to print. Printing overseas, making sure it's going to be this amazing color quality and it's color inside
And the
100%.
glossy pages.
Yes, sir. Glossy pages, high-end pages. The only page I wish I can get out of there, but it's too late, is this author page where it's,
Yeah.
about Mark Arnold, but it
Yeah.
made it cut. I could not get it
Well,
out.
how long would it take you to rip that page out of every copy?
If Mark doesn't show up at the convention, believe me, I'll be ripping, baby.
Well, you know what? I mean, it's perfect to have a book like this because she makes me laugh. The video, the comic strip video. I
Yes.
thought that, I mean, that was so cool, and I know it went over so well.
Hmm.
Obviously, people, love comics, and there's a
Yeah.
monkey comic as a video, and this is perfect, boy.
It's really funny because I asked Mickey for the forward for the book, and he said, I don't really like comics. And I was like, what? That's hard to believe. So I went ahead and I wrote what I thought was the most amazing forward. And I said, here, you don't have to write anything. Is this good enough? Would you like it in there? Because if a little, publisher secret, a lot of times the forward isn't written by the person who's credited to.
I'm not going to
But
tell anybody, don't worry.
he still didn't want that. So you know what? Peter Noon did it, and he wrote it himself.
Hey, that is very cool.
Forward by Peter Noon. So it works on so many levels. It's officially called the Monkees Comic Book, Reference Book, and Price Guide.
Mhm.
And it's just that. It's a reference book. It's got the comics in the most amazing color that you've ever seen in comics. It's got all the celebrity commentary, and then it's got this timeline. It's whatever. I know Mark is very as proud of it as I am, but it's what I wanted if I went out and bought this book for at a convention or
Uh-huh.
on an Amazon or wherever it is. This is
Oh,
I'm
this is
so happy with it. And you say, is the book ever finished? No, a book's never finished, but I'm so happy with the result of the book that I can say this is as close as we came to finishing it. And if Dwayne Dimmock had still his hands on it, it would be still we halfway through.
well, if you come up with to a sequel, you should call it the comic book. No? Okay, forget
Keep
it.
adding books to it,
Too many
right?
books. Okay, all right, all right.
And we didn't know what to call it. What else can you call it? It's
Now,
the comic
how did you think of whom to ask for their
for
monkey opinion or monkey love? No,
yeah.
that didn't
Um,
sound right.
well, so
Well,
a lot.
somebody knew.
No, that's a really great question. So I went back to the well. As you know, I did a book, the book of top 10 horror
Oh,
lists.
yes. Yep.
And I did the book of top 10 Beatles lists. So
Hmm.
there was already, like I can go to call certain people, and
Yeah.
I know they'll come through for me. Gary Puckett is one of those people. Ron Dante from the Archies,
Hmm.
certainly Patrick, because they're friends. And what do you need, Charles? Yes, okay, no problem. But then there's some that I was surprised passed on it. Elliot Easton from the Cars,
Cars.
one of the first ones I went to. And there's some that just said no right out. And then there's others who, said, yeah, eventually I'll get to it and probably forgot about it.
Mhm.
Others got to it, but got to it after we
Too late.
were able to do the
Yeah.
17. But that worked. It worked because we're
Mhm.
still able to put it, in the back. So I'm just so proud of it. Really, Steve.
That is going to be the hit of the convention. Really, I
I
mean,
hope.
just when people pick something up and they flip through it, as soon as they see that the color and the gloss, it's gonna,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
You guys are really you just should be so proud of yourselves. I mean, it looks It looks fantastic. And you could have gotten away with just the comic books part, but this is so much more.
And if we're telling, in all honesty, we didn't know how much we had to do of that to make it more legal, to make it more fair use. We didn't want to step on any toes. We even put a disclaimer, how we tried to make sure that we covered ourselves and asked permission every inch and out. I think Mark even got someone who said, don't worry, it's not even worth having to get lawyers involved in questioning them how to write it up, because what are you printing, 200 copies, so it's going to be a beautiful collector's item. And I hope that there'll be enough interest that when the convention's over and we sell out, because it's going to sell out at the convention, that we'll be able to reproduce more of them for the fans out there who couldn't.
Well, this is just what I was going to ask you. For those that can't make it to the convention, hopefully it'll be available sometime after the convention.
So we have a tentative release date of September 12th, which is a week after the convention. And of course, that is the actual 60th anniversary of the first TV episode. So barring any, delays, it'll be sold at the convention. And then it'll be hopefully sold through all the regular channels, through publishing and through Amazon on September 12th.
Obviously, you guys will be available to autograph the books there at the convention.
Yes, I'll sign it. The value goes up. Mark signed it. The value goes down. So it evens out.
All right. So when Charles signs it, everybody just grab the book. Say, who's that guy? You just walk away.
No, I'll tell. Oh, wow. I'm so glad you mentioned that. This is going to be, and Mark, I'm sorry if I'm going on and really rambling, but but I speak better than you do. So
he's got a bad leg, Charles. That's got nothing to do with you talking, but I just thought I'd mention he's got a bad leg.
This is going to be a lot like, I don't know if you guys remember your high school or college, graduation, and you'd have the yearbook and you'd want to get everyone to sign it. A lot of the people who are in the book are going to be at the convention. Ed Riley, who wrote, the Monkees manufactured image with with Bill Chadwick and with Maggie McManus. He's one of my authors. He'll be there at a table. Once you get the book, have Ed Riley sign it. Fred Velez, the Monkees, super fan, he'll be there. Author of A Little Bit Me, A Little Bit You, and A Little Bit Me, A Little Bit You Too. He'll be there. He'll sign it. So it's going to be, I hope Dwayne Dimmick can somehow come. It'll be a scenario where you get the book, you get the main author signing it, and then you get the people who contributed chapters to go. It'll be like, what a scavenger hunt, and have sign their chapters. That's going to be really a fun aspect that we never thought of when we were originally working on the book and having all those people there. But other authors who are going to be there include Mark's other partner, Michael Ventrella, who they've done 2 Monkees books together.
1 second, Charles. Mark, would you name those 2 books for us? Your 2 Monkee books?
Oh, no.
The first one's called
He said I had to. Before you came on, he said I had to
The
ask.
titles are too long.
Long title, Looking for the Good Times, discussing the Monkees songs one by one, and the other one's called Headquarter, which is a book about the solo years.
Cool.
Both available through Amazon, yes?
Yeah.
Yes, and Bear Manor Media.
Why don't you say that? But yes, through Amazon for sure. And who else? Joe Russo, who's recently put out a book on Beatland. He'll be there.
I've had Joe on the show. I bought his book, as a matter of fact.
Great. Melanie Mitchell, who put out Monkees Magic a few years back. I hate doing this because I know I'm going to leave out a few.
Well, the website is monkeesfanconvention.com. They're all on there too, everybody. And that's across the screen. People are going to see that anyway. But yeah, maybe we can go through the guest list. I know you mentioned Henry Diltz.
Henry Diltz is the most recent addition.
And I'm sorry, Charles, didn't he also do this picture? The cover?
And the back cover. The front cover and the back cover. And he's never seen the book. So I'm going to have to spring for a copy for him.
Yeah.
I'll put it on Mark's bill. And also we've got Greg Avigan, right?
Poor Mark.
Greg Avigan from Tech Wars and BJ and the Bear. Happened to have a nice little show called My Two Dads. Davy Jones guested on it.
Mhm.
He'll be there to talk about that, about Davy's, his memories of Davy.
I just want to swing this around for everybody. There's the cool website with all the guests too. As you can see, my messy desk. But anyway,
And in a few days after this airs, there's going to be another guest on that top level that I can't announce yet.
I know. I don't know. I mean, you did have a little teaser on here. That special guest. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but Valerie,
Mark, do you know who it is, Mark?
he does
Probably not.
Okay.
No, he doesn't discuss this with me at all.
Well, it'll ruin the
In fact,
surprise, though.
he
Too.
tries to pick people that I don't like. No, just kidding.
He asked for that list specifically.
But I just found out today that Greg Evigan is going to be there, of course, taking photos with people,
Mhm.
signing autographs, being on stage talking, that he wants to sing a song. So I'm going to have to, I'm going to have to connect him with Danny Salazzi from the Characters and figure out. We have one slot if you go on the computer and you go on the website or on the Facebook event page, and you'll see there's one slot left open, and we left that open just for people like that.
Mhm.
For John Billings, the Monkees, bass player who's
Yeah.
still touring with Mickey.
He must have great stories.
And he'll be playing there.
Yeah.
And all the people who are hanging out. I can't see Felipe Torres, who is the Davies drummer and the Monkees drummer, not jamming with everyone.
Sure.
David Robichaud, who Mick Lawless is bringing in, guitarist for the Monkees, for Davy and David Cassidy. This is just, I'm so psyched. And I'm dying to tell you who's going to come, but I can't do yet.
Please, I beg you.
Maybe
No, don't ruin the surprise. It's better for a surprise.
a great surprise. And then you look on there, and it's a lot of really special guests, including one person who asked to come to the show. And I couldn't say no. I've known him since I did the Rock Con in 2010.
Charles, that was so fantastic. I went to that. The Rock Con was just. Anyway, go ahead. It was brilliant.
Mark, I don't know if you know, but in 2010 I did the Weekend of 100 Rock Stars. It was
Yeah, I
gonna
know,
be
right?
it was gonna be
I
the
didn't go.
rock and roll version of Comic-Con, and we literally had 100 rock stars. But one of them was the man behind the Blues Magoos band, Pepe Castro.
Mhm.
They had a hit the same time the Monkees did, so it's Monkey tangential, I guess. It's a band from that era, and it's colleagues, Monkees, era stuff. So
You're using multi-syllabic words there. That's good. Tangential is. Anyway, go ahead.
what you're saying, I don't understand. I just make up stuff, and hopefully it lands right. And so Pepe Castro will be there. We had
And I'm sorry, and he's written so many other great songs as well. Pepe for other people, yeah.
So that's interesting because you say that, and then you look at John Billings, who was the bass player for Donna Summer, and you look at these people have such amazing credits. Rich Dart is only coming for a short time during the day, and he's been the Monkees drummer for so long now, and Mickey's current drummer. But I looked at he's played in orchestras. He's played with, a who's who of people he's played with. And I was very, very pleased to see that because he's a Connecticut guy, friend of mine, known him for years. And I didn't even know, all the credits that he has. So there's going to be hopefully that jam somehow, this disorganized mess of a jam where people are going to be singing and having fun. And it's right early on before we have the Mick Lawless Loose Salute Nez tribute. He's going to do Mike Ness set before the M60s come on. This is a band who are really great young pop rockers who've played my Beatle events under a different name, and they're going to do a set of 60s stuff plus the music from That Thing You Do, the Tom Hanks movie.
Great movie. Yeah, the Tom Hanks movie. What a great movie that was.
Who's ever done that stuff live?
Didn't the Knack cover one of those songs they did from that movie, That Thing You Do? I think they did That Thing You Do, the Knack.
Oh, that's amazing. No, I didn't know
later
that.
on in their career, I'm pretty sure they did. But
And then the music ends at night, late night, with the Characters doing all the hits, and that's what they're calling it, all the hits plus more. So, I mean, what could a monkey fan want more? This is going to be just the most fun. It's going to be a party first,
Hmm.
and then series convention center second. But
Well, you
doing
know what? All of your events, Charles, are that way. You have, it's at least it seems to the concert, the convention goer, fun is at the top of the list, and then
Yeah.
you work the other things out as it go along. But you've always, that's how your conventions, at least to me, and I've gone to a few conventions, have always stood out. You always have the convention goer in mind. Like, what would be fun? What would be cool? And then all the other boring stuff that convention people like you promoters have to deal with, we don't even know about.
No, that's all vaccines. But you know what it is? If I can give away my secret, if I could, it's not what I expect convention people to want. It's what I would want in a show.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
everything I do,
Oh,
how would I want the Monkees book to be? I mean,
Mhm.
this is what I would want. This is the book I would buy. This is the one I love, and that's how I want this convention to be. And is there going to be someone who doesn't show up? Mark. No, I mean there might be someone for whatever
Wow.
reason, and you can't help that. And you have to write all events, guests, times, subject to change. And you hope that doesn't happen. But if it does, I'm gonna find a way to fill it in and make sure it's great. But yeah, that's that's my criteria is what I would want in this
Hmm.
convention. I think that I've gotten a lot of that.
I think, and well, you share that attitude with kind of a good songwriter. That's what Paul McCartney used to say when he'd make a set list. What would I want to see what would I want to hear if I were a Beatles fan? And you
Yeah.
get that same kind of psyche or whatever. Yeah.
Hmm. What do you have to say, Mark?
oh, I wasn't listening. No. No.
Hey, Mark's here, everybody.
Hi.
What's really funny is I tease him a lot, but if you go back to that Turtles book and we analyze every song, he's the studious one. He's the brilliant one. He's
Everyone.
not the one who tries to be goofy. And
Mhm.
someone called us out on that who didn't
Oh,
know
that's true.
and said they wished it was just Mark's reviews. If Charles kept his stupid comments to himself.
Wow.
I love that. I'll take
Mark, do you like research? Do you like to do research? Because
Yeah,
it can be
yeah. I
tedious.
guess so, or I wouldn't be doing it.
Like, well, yeah, I know, but
I'll say this: sometimes it's more fun than other times. What I really like is if I find something that is different than the mythology. It's like
huh?
in every piece of history, you're always told, like, I'll say U.S. history. Columbus discovered America. Well, this Columbus barely set foot on North America, but they didn't tell us that originally. And it's like, so it took a later historian to really look, like myself, to say, hey, wait a minute, this is not even correct, and
You go
and
down
then
those rabbit holes, and yeah.
there's a few of those in our Monkees books with Michael, and there's ones in my other books, like for Mad Magazine and everything else. So it's like, yeah, I love finding those little tidbits that are the truth, and you can back it up and prove it. And it's just goes opposite of what everybody thought all these
Mhm.
years for whatever reason.
Yeah.
For a man who can't currently walk, he goes down all these amazing journeys and rabbit holes. It's amazing.
Not bad for a man with a broken leg.
It's just the foot doesn't fit in the hole. So I'm like Winnie the Pooh.
All right, now
Yeah.
I had emailed you guys earlier, and I thought it would be fun if I get from each of you just three Monkees songs, non-hits, album cuts. Um, and uh, this is going to go on YouTube, this interview. So I can't put the songs on YouTube, but I'm going to put a link in the There we go.
Yeah, baby. Mark, show us your
Mark?
monkey. Oh, you're not
Mine's,
wearing one. Never mind.
mine's Beatles.
Christmas time is here again. I'm sorry. It's a little
Exactly. Very good. Very
So
good.
wait a second, guys.
It's,
Oh no, I'd be giving away a clue. Never mind. All right, go on. You were gonna.
Okay, so
That's a
What?
question.
Did you know? Did you know most Christmas albums are recorded in August and July?
I guess they would have to be. A good
Yeah.
one. Yes, see? Good
So
thinking.
there.
Good recovery.
Anyway.
Very good recovery. I've heard, it's funny. I've heard of some recording sessions where they, like in August, July or August, and they put all the Christmas decorations in the recording studio to, help get that mood going. Yeah.
Get them in the
Yep.
spirit. I
All right,
think
so
we should
let's go
record it.
alphabetical order. A for Arnold. What are your three, Mark?
Okay, so this one actually is in my top 10 when people ask me what is top 10. Daily Nightly, which is a track that's on the Pisces album.
Mhm.
It's not played as often, but they did do it on later tours when Michael Nesmith came back.
Mhm.
And the funny part about that, when they would do it on the tours, Mickey would bring out this giant book, kind of like our Turtles or the Monkees book there, and he'd read the lyrics out of it. And the reason why is because Nesmith wrote so many trippy, psychedelic, convoluted lyrics that it was one song, and they never sang it for 40 years or whatever, that he memorized. So he had to read it. I can't even recite any of the lyrics. It's
Yeah.
just a cool, nifty
It is a
song.
cool
And
song. Yep.
early use of the Moog, and which Monkees were using on a lot of their tracks at that time. And it's just a cool track.
Yeah. Okay, that's one.
Now, are we going back and forth, or
Let's go
just
back
me?
and forth. All right.
Okay.
Charles, what's one from you?
I don't want to go back and forth.
Okay, Mark.
Okay. Well, my second one is
What a difficult guest.
come to my
Holy-
convention.
Hey, he's your writing partner, not mine.
You can get the Monkees book for free at mine. What happened to Mike? What happened to Charles?
Just look at the link under Mark's picture for the free Monkey book now. Okay, song number 2.
Oh, did Charles say one?
He doesn't want to do it this
I
way.
don't
He
want
wants
to go back and forth.
three for Mark.
We did that in the Turtles book. Done. You do yours.
Fine.
I'll do mine.
By hook or by crook, you'll be last in this book. I get it. Okay, fine. Okay, number 2. When I was in the 80s, when I was starting to collect all the harder to find albums, believe it or not, Birds, Bees, and Monkees turned out to be a harder to find album once they reunited. And I guess it's because it has 2 big hits, Valerie and Daydream Believer. Whereas before, I used to see it as like a thrift shop eyesore.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So when I got around to finally getting one at a secondhand record shop, one of the tracks caught my eye, mainly because it had a little warning on it and said, it's like, this song will, it sounds like your machine is stripped of gear. Don't worry, nothing's wrong. And it's a song called Magnolia Sims, and it's also by Michael Nesmith. Yeah. And it has skipping and it has dust, and it kind of puts McCartney's Honey Pie to shame. It's like, if you're gonna make an old sounding record,
Go
do it
for
this
it.
way.
Yeah, really go for it.
A worn needle and a worn record, and something that's been played. So that's a great
good
album
choice.
track to seek out.
Mhm.
And then the last one is from an album that came out after that called Head, which was the soundtrack album. And strangely enough, before Peter Tork left the group, he suddenly kind of came to the foreground as a singer and a songwriter. And he composed like half of the album's new tracks. So the song that I like on it is a long title, Do I Have to Do This All Over Again? He sings it really well. For people who think that Peter can't sing,
Mhm.
well, no, he can sing. He just, it looks like he can't sing when you're paired up next to Mickey Dolenz and Davy Jones.
Yeah.
And like Nesmith, so, but he was a decent singer. He put out a few solo albums and things like that over the years, and
What is it? Shoe Suede Blues?
yes,
Was one of his. Yeah, that was one of his solo. Yeah, I actually got that from Peter at your convention, Charles,
Oh, wow.
when he was there. So anyway, 3.
So those
good
are my
choices.
3. It was a little hard to whittle it down, but I tried to keep it
know.
to the original years instead of going into like something from Good Times or Pool It or something else. But
Which wasn't that
'Cause
just a quick aside, wasn't Good Times a fantastic album?
Yes.
Fantastic.
I
Yeah.
really, it was just so Monkees and it was perfect. I thought, for a Monkees fan to hear. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Charles, Mr. I don't want to go back and forth.
Yeah, yeah,
All
yeah.
right. I gotta go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, me too. Mark and I'll be back after your list, Charles. No. All right, the big three from Charles Rosenay.
So I want to preface by saying that I thought it was like non-hits. I mean, the things that
Yeah.
yeah, but you know what? So
Do whatever you want, whatever you like.
no, I will get to them, but I want to preface by saying that the first two that came to mind were two that were actually singles, and She Makes Me Laugh and Teardrop City, songs that the typical person, you say what are your favorite songs, won't come to mind. But then I said no, wait, these are songs that are album cuts that wouldn't necessarily, so album cuts right there. I
Good
went
one. Good one.
a song, and there's a big reason for it. Now you look behind me and there's this drum head that says Monkey Mania. And in 1981 and 82, when I was doing conventions in Connecticut, there was no monkey tribute bands. So I put together a band called Monkey Mania. I was the lead singer. I had the maracas and the tambourines because I couldn't play an instrument. I did
Mark's laughing already,
Davy dance. Can you mute him now? And then anyway, so the song that I love doing, which may not be the greatest song for some fans, but was an amazing song to do live. And a guy by the name of Plastic EP always kids me about this, was Let's Dance On. Because
what a rocker.
you work a crowd with that, and and the crowd would sing and I'd go on, I'd riff for about 4 minutes going ooh, and I would have them go back. And the only way the band knew that I was ready for them to come back in is I'd go a little bit me, and they go a little bit you,
Mhm.
and then Let's Dance On. So
That is a fantastic song.
so I had to give a reason why that was one of them. The other one,
Mark's not buying it, I don't think. I don't know.
this hit me. I'll tell you when this hit me. When it came out, I always envisioned this song as the song that Davy and Mickey would be singing till they were 100 years old on stage together. They would get through the fights, they would get through whatever legal stuff they had, and they would still go on stage and love each other like brothers. And I thought, well, maybe there'll be, kids and grandkids of theirs in the band and all that.
Mhm.
And it was You and I.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know?
that's when I wouldn't have thought of that. Well, that's a good song.
Yeah. After all together, play the lyrics, read the
Mhm.
lyrics, play the song, and think of it not as you and I, a husband and wife, boy and girl, a lover, boy and boy, girl, whatever it is. Think of it as Davy and Mickey, as their love song to each other,
Mhm.
and it'll come on a completely different meaning. And so those were two of them. And the third one I have to include because it was one that Davy Jones proposed to my wife on my behalf from a stage. And and he did it all. So, Charles, I hope you did your nasties and you got on your knee and you gave her the ring. But Charles's girlfriend, Melissa, I hope you're going to say yes because he wants to marry you. And this is the song. We have that recorded. We have a audio doing it. And he plays I Will Love You Forever.
Wow.
Which is an album cut that a lot of people don't know. But he always did it live in later years, especially at the solo show. And that was our first dance along with Here, There, and Everywhere at our wedding.
Now, how did obviously you spoke with Davey before. Did you ask him to do this?
I did. Davey and I we're friends. We
Yeah, right, exactly.
Not as close as I was with Peter. And it's funny because I probably interviewed and hung out with Mickey more than the two of them, but I was closest with Davey and Peter. And Davey would just call me. I always tell the story. He'd call me randomly and like, "Hello, Charles. Yeah, who's this? Davey. Davey who?" And he'd get upset. He goes, "You really know more than one Davey?" Yeah. I was going. So I don't have time. Listen, what are those Beatles baseball cards worth? I go about $1 a piece. Okay, thanks, bye. And that would be the conversation. There was one show.
But
It was
who else could say they have conversations like that? That to me is very cool.
There was one show where he and Mickey, was it three of them? It must have been Peter too. Came off the stage, and after the show, they kind of walked through the seats. That was part of the deal when you bought maybe it's a VIP. I don't remember. I was with my friend Mike Strito, who's since passed. He was one of my best friends, and Mickey posed with us, and Davey kind of just kept walking, and Mike goes, "I guess he really doesn't know you, huh?" And I like, oh man, that was hurt. And then he turns around and he goes, "Hey, Rosenaye, I heard your mom's not feeling well. How's she doing?"
How great
Oh.
is that?
He was in the hospital, and I don't know how he knew. We didn't
Awesome.
have.
I mean, it's not awesome your mom was in the hospital.
No, it was
Awesome
awesome
to
that
do
he
that.
knew it. Yes, yes. We didn't have internet. I wasn't saying it on Facebook.
Wow.
Somehow he must have heard it, and he
Mhm.
turned around and it clicked with him. And I was like, I love. How could you not love that?
Yeah.
Do I have time for another Davy story?
Of course, please.
He was a special
Not on this show, but I'm sure at some other time.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
He was a special guest of mine at one of the mid-90s Beatle conventions that I was doing in Connecticut. And again, now you say Monkees never did a Monkees convention until Peter did. Beatles never did until Pete Best did. But a Monkee never did a Beatles convention until I asked Davey to please come to that. And he goes, "What's the connection?" I go, "Come on, are you serious?" And Peter said that years later. What's the connection? I go, "We're going to show your Artful Dodger on Ed Sullivan. We're going to show your new commercial with Ringo. And then the rest of it, we'll let Fred Velez."
The Pizza Hut,
The Hut commercial, yes. And so he was an amazing guest. They did a full set at the end of the show with his band, and they added Beatles songs. He knew what exactly he was doing, but he was also, I don't know, was it contracted, but part of the deal in those days, no one got paid for autographs. I just said, "Can you sign for a half hour or so? I know there's a lot of people who would love to get your autograph." And he said, "Yeah, Charles, of course I will." And I remember he didn't go to dinner or something. I don't know where he was, and I went back to where he was supposedly signing the autographs, and it was 2.5 hours later. And I said, "What are you doing? You had a half hour." And he goes, "There's still people in line. I didn't get to."
How great is that?
And this is before you made a buck doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
He didn't have a book that he was selling.
He didn't have a reason to do except the love of fans.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all of that made me love him as much as I did, and thank him for doing that request. It was at Mohegan Sun in the Wolf's Den. It was a casino in Connecticut. And I remember texting him. I remembered emailing him. I remembered calling him, and I still wasn't sure he was going to do it. So I had a roadie pass the note to him backstage, and I handed it to a few of the members of the band. So he literally had 15 versions of this. Please. And, before he got the song, he remembered, he took it out and he read it. And I want to share that he was supposed to be a guest for me. You know how I do the Beatle tours every year? I do a tour to London and Liverpool, right?
Tremendous. I know. One of these days, one of these years, Charles.
LiverpoolTours.com. Mark,
I reluctantly went. I mean, I went.
He was my buddy on one of the tours 2 years ago, and it's when we released the Turtles book, so we got to sign it and debut it there, which was really, really special. And Mark was a great tour member. It was such a pleasure having him. I kid him about a lot of stuff, but I actually almost love him, really. And Davey,
You almost have affection for him.
When we were doing those extra, we would do an extra city or an extra country, and we'd go to Amsterdam along with London, Liverpool, or Scotland or Hamburg. And I said to Davey, for 10 or 20 years, why don't we go to Manchester and you come with us and make it Davey's Magical Mystery Tour? So I'm thinking marketing. I'll have all my regular Beatle people, but I'll have Monkee fans coming too. And I said, he goes, well, where would we go? I go, we'll go where you were born. We'll go where you went to school. We'll go to where you did theater. There's a ton of places.
Yeah.
And then you hang out with us and you'll be part of the whole monkey. And he would always say, I don't have time. I can't, that's 10 days. I can't pull it off. And finally, he was able to do it. And he passed away before he was able to do it. So that's the saddest thing about the whole thing. I'll tell you, this drumhead over here, I'm really going on a tangent. It's okay. I'm back to that word tangent.
Let's do it.
It was the Monkees, the drumhead from the band Monkey Mania. John Sheridan was our other lead singer. He was a Nesmith lookalike. He had the sideburns. He had the cap. He'll be at the convention. He's got a table at the convention. He represents Gretsch, so he'll be there too. And he was, if you think of Beatlemania and Mitch Weissman being the face of John Sheridan, I had the personality and the talent and the charisma, but he was the face of Monkey Mania. And when it was all said and done, he gave me a gift of this Gretsch drumhead that says Monkey Mania. And I immediately had Mickey sign it, and Mickey wrote underneath, I'm a believer. Peter Tork signed it next and wrote, me too. Mike Nesmith, who I'd never met before and never thought I would, I promoted one of his shows, and the promoter who ran the theater, as a thank you, let me do the meet and greet afterwards. And so they were only allowed to sign the program book from the event. I brought this in, and when Michael Nesmith saw it, and the people coming over saying you can't have it signed, he stopped them and said, no, I want to sign that.
Cool, very cool.
Yeah. And he said, now you got the three of them. And I was never in a rush to get Davies because he was the closest. I knew eventually I'll get it at Chiller, at one of my shows, at a concert, whatever. And it's got only 3 on there, but I'm proud of the 3, and I'm proud of my.
Charles, you said how sad you said it's so sad that he passed, which it was. But it would have been sadder is if you never had asked him to go on the trip. At least he was thinking of it, and at least you thought enough of him to ask him to come. Yeah. So you did that. Question, Mr. Arnold.
I have a Davy Jones story. Charles has heard this, so he can plug his ears.
Maybe he can just leave now, and we can. No.
Strangely enough, in 2012, I saw all the Monkees together, at least 3 of them together when they were called Monkees, and then separately during the course of a calendar year. It's just odd is how it worked, because they all went on tour separately and together. Where I saw Davy was in February of 2012. And it was a Hollywood autograph show, kind of like the Chiller, I suppose, but lots of different people from all walks of life, actors and people behind the scenes and everything, signing autographs and everything. And Davey was there. I had him sign his book, and he signed a button that I had, and somebody gave him a guitar, and he started singing tunes and everything, and he was very cordial, and he was there after hours too. Wasn't signing autographs at that point, but just entertaining everyone after the hours. And I've said this a zillion times before. If you took bets on all the different celebrities in the room of who was going to be gone by the end of the month, there was like Martin Landau, who was like 87, 88 years old around that time, and he wasn't looking too well. There was Carla Lemley, who was in the original Dracula, and she was over 100 years old. If you said that they were the ones that were going to be passed away by the end of the month, I'd say, yeah, probably, No, it was Davey. And it's like, so I'm just happy that I got to see him one last time, because, I didn't know, he was so full of life and everything just 2 weeks before. So,
But that wasn't at the Chiller convention, was it, Mark?
This is a Hollywood convention, so
okay.
they have this. They still have Hollywood shows now, autograph shows, and but it's like the Chiller one. It's the people that the joke about it is all the has been celebrities. You won't have a current. But it's like those are the best people to talk to, because you could talk to you about their entire careers, what they've done. And kind of get to know them as a friend, just like Charles has done over the years with these people, so.
I thought maybe we had been at the same convention, because I met Davy Jones at a Chiller convention, and after Peter had gotten the cancer diagnosis, but he was on the mend. So anyway,
Yeah.
I stealthily had a tape recorder in my pocket when I went up to Davey, and just talking to him, hi David, and I said, how's Peter? And he said, well, I hear he's doing pretty well and all, and so I went home, and sure enough, it came out pretty well. The recording, I said, now that's something that not too many people have. Davey talking about Peter at a convention, but that was my
Wow.
Davey Jonesing. Now I have a question for you. Go ahead, Charles. I'm sorry.
No, I said, wow. I
Oh.
didn't know that. That was good.
I thought you were saying like, wow, Steve doesn't shut up. We're the guests. But okay. No, I have a question for you guys. Now, the song Randy Scouse Git, we know that it was it's kind of a naughty phrase in the UK. And you know the term, well, I'm sure you know the term, like if a movie is like a meta film, that it kind of what's the definition? It's like the film is aware of itself being a film. It's kind of a like
But I guess
oh yeah,
breaking
okay.
the fourth wall, that type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I was thinking if you guys, I think that Randy Scouse Git could fit into a meta song category because I know it's well, Mickey's talking about the Beatles with the EMI part. But I'm looking at it as Mickey, the TV show monkey, singing about the group that he got his show because of. I know by the looks, I'm not explaining this right.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
I don't. Well, this section will be edited.
Oh, no, please keep that in.
Well, I mean, if it's like, hey, you're going to do
Oh.
a show based on the Beatles, and then you go meet the Beatles, I guess, yeah, okay, that's kind of interesting. Never thought that would happen. I was just circus boy, So
I'm kidding. I see what you're saying. It's an outsider looking in, and he's writing not as the monkey, but of this Mickey as a monkey.
Like he wouldn't have been Mickey Dolenz monkey if not for the group he was writing about, but he's writing about it as a regular rock star.
Mm.
Like in a movie, if someone says, come on, this is real life, this isn't the movies, that's like meta. Like the movie is recognizing that, yes, I'm a movie, but it's acting like it's not.
15 minutes later.
So I am going to work on my definition of meta things, guys. However, I do want to just thank you guys again, man. It's like I'm looking, it's like an hour and 15 minutes we've been talking, and it's like it feels like 10 minutes. You guys are so much fun to talk to. And
Like
really,
4 hours
you guys
today.
are so talented and great. And throughout the interview, we've had all the information on screen too. Any closing thoughts?
I just really hope for my last Monkees convention that a lot of fans come out. I know they're gonna have a great time, and if I know them, it'll be like a reunion. And if I don't, I come say hello. I'll be signing copies of the book, and I'll also be on stage and running around like a nut. But yeah, if you're a listener or a viewer or a Planet Ludwig regular, please come to the show, and you're gonna have a great time, and you're gonna meet amazing people. It's kindred spirits who all have the same love in the same room, and it's always, why do I do Beatle tours even though people can go to Liverpool by themselves? Because it's always better when you're a shared experience, which is why going to a Monkees concert or a Mickey concert is so amazing. And it's the same with a convention. A lot of people who've been to conventions will know that. And you can't wait.
I am certainly a witness to that, boy. I've been to maybe 2 or 3 of yours. Connecticut is like half the country away from New Jersey. I mean, no, but Charles's conventions, every one of you, like he said, if you've been, you know how great they are. And if you haven't been, it'll be the best convention you've gone to as a fan. Just fun, fun, fun. And it's not even a Beach Boys concert. Fun, fun, fun. But anyway, Mark, final thoughts?
Well, I will
Aside
say
from
that
you
I
not
totally
having
agree
to
with
see
him.
Charles for the rest of the night.
Yeah. I will say that, like I probably would eventually get to England and Liverpool sometime in my life,
Hmm.
because it was a goal of mine just to get over there at some point. By going through Charles's Liverpool tour or Magical Mystery Tour, not only did I get to see many, 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 many more locations than I would have seen just by myself, just kind of wandering around.
Hmm.
Um, I I didn't say I bonded 100% with anybody, but you make casual friendships that are good for, so it is a shared experience.
Hmm.
And, instead of just saying, "Hey, I'm here at Abbey Road. Nobody else is here, but here I am." You could be here. "Hey, get your picture taken in the crosswalk." "Yeah, I did. I got the picture taken. Wasn't that neat?" Blah, 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 and that type of thing. So, you know,
It's nice when you get
that's why I
people
sort
that
of
like
into
the
that.
same thing you do. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Mark. I just talked over
Yeah.
you. No, but
So,
it's nice when you get people to like the same things you do. It's just a great
yeah.
feeling.
Yes.
And I have been to Charles's conventions, but I've been to many, many conventions, and I know what I like and what I don't like. Just based on what I've read about Charles and just from talking with Charles, it's like Charles does a convention the way I would want to do one
Yeah,
or be at one. It's like there's
absolutely.
things there that will entertain me. Some things might not entertain me, but there's plenty more things that
Mhm.
will. So I don't have to worry about that. I will be guaranteed to have some fun.
Yep. And just to show like how Charles does have the fans in mind, like when you added the Sunday activity, for people bringing it, coming in on a trip to go to Connecticut, and here you are, thinking of them and adding that extra day. It's that
We
type
have,
of a convention.
we have a group of Australians who are coming in. Just
Hmm.
to mention Brits, people from England. So, yeah, we want to give them the optimum monkeys experience for a convention.
Uh, the website's been on the screen all along, but monkeesfanconvention.com. All the information you need is on there. Guys, you guys are just so wonderful guests. I really, really enjoy talking to you. And let's definitely do it again sometime, please.
Let's do it next week.
Let's make, as Ralph would say, let's make it definite. How about tomorrow night? Ralph Cramden said it. Let's go.
Thank you so much,
All
Steve.
right, guys. Thank you, guys. We'll talk again, okay? All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
We've been molding minds since 2013 here at planetludwig.com. If you're in the neighborhood, stop by. You can catch up on any episode of classic pop culture you missed. We have our own Beatles page. Oh man, yeah. Our YouTube channel. Oh, don't get me started. Music, tons of it. Tons of all types of music. Our miscellaneous cool page, a little bit of everything's here, and I can't even say it. It's horror and sci-fi. You don't have to take your pajamas off if you want to watch a Broadway or off-Broadway play. And hey, classics illustrated videos of the books. Psychedelic stuff, man. Soundtracks, rare and out of print, are waiting for you. I read a book here or there now and then, and I review it. And don't forget, the other Ludwig, Bill Ludwig's album cuts page, and I write things once in a while. I think it's time for the skater.